a good career and go mucking about with something as silly as cakes. Which sent Emma straight back to Trevena with renewed determination to make her silly cakes into a success. Now spring was turning to summer. Reed's Tea and Cakes was up and running. They served cream teas on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, with plans to ramp up as demand grew. In addition to the sit-down service, they had a bakery counter for those who wanted a nice cuppa and a sweet treat to enjoy at one of the tables or take home. When the takeaway counter and tea service were happening at the same time, it could get a bit mad, but Emma wouldn't trade her new life for anything. Baking cakes and tarts, serving perfectly brewed pots of tea, and inventing new varieties of finger sandwiches were Emma's idea of the good life. As a bonus, she got to have her corgi Oliver with her all day, instead of having to leave him at home or with a dog-sitter. "So who's Daphne?" Emma asked Angelique. Along with cakes, curiosity was Emma's defining trait. "Daphne Cochrane. She's been friends with Pearl since they were girls." Angelique checked the temperature reading on the electric kettle and filled the quirky cabbage leaf pot. "Probably she has some life-and-death gossip about the girls up at uni." "Should I go follow Pearl, Emma?" Oliver, the final, furry, and extremely vital member of the service team, was currently snuffling around the floor mats, attempting to zero in on Pearl's otherwise invisible footprints. "I can find out what she's doing." "Not now, good boy," said Emma. "We'll let Pearl have her space." Oliver plumped down on his hindquarters and scratched his ear and sneezed. "Okay, Emma." Reflexively, Emma glanced to see if anyone else had noticed anything odd in this little exchange. There was nothing outwardly unusual about Oliver. He looked to be a standard white and tan Welsh Pembroke corgi, with all the usual off-the-chart levels of cuteness. But to Emma, Oliver spoke perfectly intelligible, Welsh-accented English that nobody else heard or understood. Being able to talk with their dogs was a trait that tiptoed through Emma's family. Of course, nobody ever actually said anything about it, at least not where they might be overheard, except maybe by the dogs. Oliver was the only animal Emma could understand. That was disconcerting enough, thank you very much. She loved her loyal, intelligent, boisterous, occasionally hyperactive corgi, but she did not feel a need to communicate with anybody else's pet or the local wildlife. Of course, the situation did have its drawbacks. Oliver might talk, and he might be extraordinarily well-behaved by corgi standards, but he was still very much a dog. He saw the world from an entirely different angle than Emma or any human. That, in turn, meant Emma could sometimes have a hard time understanding what Oliver was actually talking about. Just now, Oliver was back to sniffing the trail only he could detect. "Nope. Nope, nope. Kitchen, here. Kitchen, upstairs. Nope. Ooh, what's that?" Nose to the floorboards, he trotted out into the main seating area. He did not get very far before one of the guests reached down to give him a pat, which he accepted with a happy, full bum wag. Angelique set the tea tray she'd just finished on the bar for their server Becca to pick up. "Oh, Emma, I've been meaning to ask. Have you finalized our menu for during the Du Maurier Festival? We should be getting a good lot of foot traffic those days. I want to put it up on the website as soon as possible to lure them in." Like a lot of villages, Trevena's summer calendar was filled with fetes and festivals, and the season kicked off in just over 2 weeks. "Just about there," Emma told her, "but I'm worried about whether we've got enough help for the extra seatings we've planned." Angelique added matching cups to the tray she had set out. "I've made some calls, but let's sit down this evening, all right? Daniel won't be back until tomorrow, so the evening is clear." Pearl's husband, Daniel, ran a fishing and tourist boat that took campers and holiday-makers out to the islands off the coast. "Great." Before Emma could add anything else, the door from the car park opened to let in a middle-aged man in a blue work shirt. "Oh-ho," murmured Angelique. "You'd better take this one, Emma." Emma attempted to roll her eyes. Why was that so much harder to do when she was blushing? Emma reached the glass bakery counter about the same time as the new guest did,